Hey everybody, this is Jesse Knox with Beast of Burden. We're doing some, you can call it crop tree release. It's more like killing all the elms. My bottomland hardwoods are infested with elm trees, but no, we're using our conservation stewardship program, and this year we're doing the crop tree release, and we're in actually some more actual crop tree release situation. This little triangle here is a really unique spot because it's full of swamp white oak, a couple nice walnuts. And it's an interesting situation because some snares are changing. So the green you see right here, hang on one second guys. We're good. That's my food plot. And over here is another food plot, that green over there. However, it's going to be seeded down to a short prairie mix. It's a long story. So we're taking that out of the equation, which really is a benefit because I've had several years where I really like sorghum and Egyptian wheat, especially together, because they create great winter cover for birds. And when the Egyptian wheat stalks snap off, all that seed is available for birds and deer. It's really just a tall sorghum. But the bucks, especially mature bucks, love to bed in that sorghum Egyptian wheat. But so you can use it as a benefit hunting stands on trails going to those spots. And usually those deer still make their rounds regardless. But I would walk by there and not disturb the bucks when I was heading to my tree stand. But we're moving that to be more bedding / browse. The goal of that one to do is also growing season fires to encourage the forb in that mix. But over here, as you can see, we have a lot of swamp white oak. We dropped a lot of trees because mostly it's just all elm. And elm really have very little wildlife value in this regard, but they do have more wildlife value in the sense of these mineral stumps. Like that's like a dead, dying red elm there. But all this is going to be sprouts coming up from the stumps that last studies have shown. Elm sprouts have really high nutrition. They're very attractive to deer. But also my plan is to burn all this as well. So we made it thicker. It's going to be temporary bedding until we can get some fire going in here. And we're encouraged, it might even get thicker as well. And depending on the harm mass production on these swamp white oaks, which if I remember correctly, I think it was a study from Michigan State University, showed releasing oaks and hickories, the harm mass production goes up 7 times. So say you had a swamp white oak that was only producing 50 pounds, and then by girdling and doing 3 to 4 sided release, that production will go up 7 times. So now it's producing 350 pounds of acorns, which to me is, that's an awesome, huge increase. So we're gonna have a lot of food in here. We left this open for the deer to feel comfortable walking through. Stuff like this won't bother them at all. They'll walk right through that stuff. If I can walk through it, deer don't care. Oh, we'll just bring it along with me here. That's out of the way. Anyway, now I'm gonna show you my a spot we got hung up here for our tree stand. You can kind of see it right there. And a lot of guys may be like, man, you're gonna be so open. They're gonna see you. Well, October, November, that's gonna leaf out. And we've released a lot of trees in that area, and they're just gonna get more branchier. Because they're competing with sunlight. Now they have more sunlight. What are they going to do? They're going to maximize that real estate by taking on that sunlight. Those leaves are just gigantic solar panels. So they're going to get more leafy, and pretty much to mid to late November, I'm pretty protected up to that point. And then we'll just move over to the blind anyway, because even before we did all this work, it was still pretty open regardless. But it's kind of cool. We can maneuver that stand so we can maybe have a better view of this area here. So we might have really good fall time browse in October and early November from all the acorn production when that hard mass here does come. So we can have an opportunity to hunt over the food plot and hunt over this as well, and hopefully get some really good more deer action back in here. You might go, what about the wind? Well, I've kept myself pretty clean, and I've been in some situations this year. I made mistakes. I got confused in my wind direction, and man, they start getting spooky like underneath the tree stand, which I've been very surprised by. I shower, I keep my clothes clean, I don't wear my boots in gas stations, I keep them away from grease and chemicals and all the stuff that's really strong. Doesn't seem to bother them very much. I've had my wind right downwind to deer, and they don't seem to mind. Now, if I've screwed up and I had some greasy, or I've had a drink in the stand with me, coffee or tea, back in the day I used to do that, and whatever else, or I walked my boots in the gas station, that's when I get spooked real bad. So, and I try to rotate my stand so I don't sit in the same spot over and over and over again. I think that makes deer more uncomfortable. But anyway, so I'm Is it 100% foolproof? No, but I've hunted this spot enough to feel pretty comfortable sitting here. And right now it looks super open, but once we get fire coming through here, a lot of these tops are going to burn up over time, and we might have to drop some other trees so we don't cause any candle sticking from fire. But essentially, we're going to have this little triangle. It's like roughly an acre, acre and a half. We lost 8 acres of food plot. We've replaced that with this. And really, we're just adding to it. We're adding with more natural forage. We'll have forbs over in that plot where now it's beautiful rye and peas and oats and stuff right now, and clover. That's to be burned down a couple times, and we'll drill in our short quail mix, or it's a CB25 short, over here through fire, and then hard mass production. We'll have more food here as well. But also another thing to keep in mind, since we're going to, my goal is to manage this for oaks in this spot down here. So we'll see on the oak regeneration, like if we burn it this spring and this fall, I see a bunch of baby oaks, I'm going to hold off for a couple years, you know, at least 5 to 8 years, and come back through and give it hell again. But I really want those little oaks to get a good stand, and maybe be best to a dormant burn like November, December, and those plants are done. We might have some elms to compete with, but that's okay. We can cut them again. Or perhaps the oaks have enough sunlight they can outcompete the elms. Maybe, I don't know. And maybe the deer browse be intense enough they can keep those elms under control. And we might not have a great oak response. We might be burning this every 2 years, you know. And until we start seeing that really heavy baby oak response, you know, I say just keep burning until we get that point, and that's when we know to stop, so we can have more higher quality stand of oaks and walnuts in the stand and go from there. So yeah, that's what we did this little spot. We're gonna take a break and go over to another area I've been working on, because it's a little different, but it's a unique situation regardless. I hope you found this enjoyable, informative. It's just good. You just, you know, just because the stand is nasty doesn't mean it should be left that way. There's always room for potential for future oak, future walnut, hellers and willows in here. You might get a really high stem count. Might be a great spot for woodcock habitat down the road as well. So there's a lot of possibilities in the stand. Just got to open it up and see what happens. Hope you found this helpful, and thanks a lot for watching.